watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
Joining me tonight, Gaurav Bhatia, National Spokesperson of the BJP, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, author, Advocate Abhishek Sudhir, political analyst, Kuntal Krishna, political analyst. But my first question goes to Shoaid Jamai, Islamic scholar. And Shoaid Jamai, I want to ask you straight off the bat, who was provoking whom? Look at that chariot that is being pulled by two people who are receiving pelted stones, bottles being thrown at them, and there is no provocation. कोई बात सुनाई नहीं दे रही है और वो कह रहे हैं चाचा ये गलत हो रहा है. And in the next video there is a young girl, you can hear her voice, who says अम्मी अम्मी ये बड़े मामू पत्थर क्यों फेंक रहे हैं रोजे में. I want to ask you, you fix the narrative that this was provocation of people going and putting a saffron flag on top of the mosque. What is seen here is completely different. Shoaid Jamai, premeditated blame game?
Navika, I never take back from my statement. But today I will step forward, one step forward. That it is very unfortunate that BJP leader Ansar is pelting stone on the Hindus. This Ansar is, I'm just showing you this photo where Ansar with the saffron BJP topi and this BJP symbol with the BJP leader Sangeeta Bajaj. He is actively participating in all the BJP.
So you agree? So you agree that it wasn't the Hindu side? Ansar is related to the BJP. I'll get Gaurav Bhatia to answer that. But you agree that chariot खींचने वाला Hindu side वाला कोई incite नहीं कर रहा था, provoke नहीं कर रहा था. ये मानते हैं आप?
I believe that the two main conspirators of this whole Jahangirpuri riot is BJP leader Ansar and VHP leader Prem Sharma. Both of them got arrested, and I believe this is a conspiracy led by BJP and VHP just before the arrival of Boris Johnson, the respected Prime Minister of United Kingdom. So I believe this is a big conspiracy.
Would you want to comment? Would you want to comment on the little girl who's saying बड़े मामू रोजे में पत्थर फेंक रहे हैं? Would you want to comment on that?
I don't want to comment. I just want to answer why BJP leader Ansar is inciting riots in the Jahangirpuri.
So छोटी बच्ची की आवाज पर आपके पास कोई जवाब नहीं है. You don't want to answer the question why that little girl is saying खिड़की बंद कर दो, बड़े मामू रोजे में क्यों पत्थर फेंक रहे हैं? That you don't want to respond to. You don't have a response for that. Well, Gaurav Bhatia, there is the charge against you that has been put by Shoaid Jamai. Shoaid Jamai, 1 minute. You don't want to answer that question, then calm down. I'm asking Gaurav Bhatia. Now you wait for your turn. Mr. Gaurav Bhatia, Ansar, part of the BJP. That's what the Aam Aadmi Party says. You say he's part of the Aam Aadmi Party. I don't know which party that he belongs to, but the fact of the matter is that these videos shown on Times Now today tell you a certain narrative that was being set is completely wrong.
Navika, it wouldn't be wrong to say दूध का दूध और पानी का पानी हो गया. People like Shoaid Jamai were coming on television channels and saying, Hindu galat hai, Hindu ne ye kiya, lekin aaj there are certain very important revelations. The first is, ye Ramzan ke mahine ko bhi pavitra nahi rehne dete. It has become synonymous to petrol bombs, to stone pelting. And these people are not ashamed of it. Rather, they don't even respect our tricolor. They do not respect the Hindu brethren, because if a procession goes outside a mosque, they believe it is their birthright to stop and pelt stones at such a procession. जैसे ये जो road mosque के बाहर है ये पाकिस्तान की हो. No, every inch of our land belongs to every Indian, and Hindus also have the right. Second, it reaffirms that the Hindu community is very patient it accommodates everybody. But there is a need for introspection amongst certain very radical elements in Islam. And I say this with some responsibility. I would also like to counter Shoaid Jamai. Shoaid Jamai is one of those who was celebrating the Hagia Sophia. He lives in India, but he has a very strong bond with the religion, not with our country. And he said, Hagia Sophia bhul gaye. And then on the Ram temple verdict, he said, Babri Masjid tu zinda hai. He is a fanatic himself, but he brings out a picture where a leader is shown wearing a cap that he is saying that he belongs to the BJP. Now, this picture, since yesterday, has been out. And this picture reveals much more than what Shoaid Jamai is saying. You know, Delhi riots, Tahir Hussain, a corporator from Aam Aadmi Party, 2022, now when the procession is attacked, Ansar is again from the Aam Aadmi Party. But Shoaid Jamai nahi bolenge, kyonki inka vote bank khisak jayega. And I must also say, there is a Rohingya link that is being probed. And we have always maintained that these illegal immigrants are a threat to national security. Narendra Modi ji's government is ensuring that they are thrown out of the country because they are eating our country like a termite. Who comes to their rescue? Navika? It is the Congress party, Aam Aadmi Party, that considers these Rohingyas as their vote bank. And I must also say PFI के सिद्दीकी कप्पन को जब अरेस्ट किया था नाविका, राहुल गांधी went to meet the family members of Siddiqui Kappan. Siddiqui Kappan has not been given bail still, and he is one of the PFI members. So this clearly shows that these people have links with people who break law, who are criminals, and they look at the religion of a criminal. And that is why not a word from Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi on Karoli violence or on PFI link,
Kuntal Krishna,
or on Rohingya.
Kuntal Krishna, I want to ask you this question. A narrative was set that this was being done by the Hindus. The provocation came from them, and you know this provocation has created. It was done by the BJP, while the videos on your screen tell you a completely different story. Kuntal Krishna, tonight I want to ask all those who said that provocation was there. People like Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi, who came out, gave a clean chit to Ansar. And I'll tell you, there is a whole dossier on Ansar that has come out. The crimes that he's committed before this, the crimes that he has, well, being part of a political party, I don't know who he's close to, because the BJP has put out some visuals of him wearing an Aam Aadmi Party ki topi. The Aam Aadmi Party has put some visuals of, pictures of him in a BJP yatra. So I don't know which side is speaking the truth. But Ansar is a man who was given a clean chit by Asaduddin Owaisi. Mr. Owaisi also came out and pointed out that there was a saffron flag on top of the masjid. Nothing of the sort. You've seen this videos which tell you Mamu Jaan patthar फेंक रहे थे, चाचा गलत कर रहे थे. Why don't you call these attacks on the chariot carrying the Hanuman Murti? Why don't you call them out tonight, sir?
Navika ji, before I discuss these issues, I would like to read 2 lines for you with your due permission. मेरे मुल्क में अमन अभी मुश्किल है, आजकल के हमारे हुक्मरान ही बाशौक मुर्गे लड़वाते हैं. See, let me first thank you that you put forward a part of the truth before your viewers, before country. What that little girl was saying, यही तो हमारा देश था नाविका, यही हमारा देश था. That secular India, where everyone had respect for everyone. That girl was saying कि मामू रमजान में पत्थर चला रहे हैं. That girl was looking at that chariot and saying कि अम्मी मामू रमजान में पत्थर चला रहे हैं. This is the India which we hold till now. और आज what we saw today, what we are seeing today.
आप कहना क्या चाह रहे हैं? आप कहना क्या चाह रहे हैं? समझा भी तो दीजिए.
मैं नाविका जी, I want to say, I want to clearly
the girl
say
is
that
identifying Mamu Jan who's pelting stones. Now, are you saying this is the India you want?
No. This is not the India I want. This is not the India I want, and this is not the India which we had. It is the establishment. Navika, let me tell you, in fact, you only showed us that there was a video a night before what happened.
establishment hai na?
Is it not establishment responsible? Is it not establishment responsible? Is it not the responsibility of establishment to look for these things?
So the establishment was responsible in Karoli as well. Why is Matloob Ahmed absconding? What is happening in Lower? What is happening in Jharkhand, sir? Why is the establishment not to blame? कि वहाँ भी बीजेपी है. Law and order, have you outsourced law and order in these two states also to the BJP?
Navika, every radical element in this country is to be blamed. I'm sorry when I hear these words from my friends in
radical elements who are doing it, and the government has nothing to do with it. But in Delhi, it is the government to be blamed. Fantastic, great narrative, Dr. Anand Ranganathan. Respond to this kind of interpretation of what the videos are actually saying, what is actually happening in this country. Respond to Mr. Kuntal Krishna.
Good evening. All my fellow panelists, I've been waiting very patiently to all of them. So I hope I'll be of a couple of minutes. Navika, as they say, a picture speaks 1,000 words. Clips that you have shown, they speak a million. If I can paraphrase a famous speech from Hubli, the Vindhya, Jahangirpuri, the Aravalis, stones are big, and we can't do anything. Now, I request from next time onward, Navika, give me the first chance to respond, because जैसे जैसे टाइम गुजरता जाता है, वैसे वैसे मेरे फेलो पैनलिस्ट इतना झूठ बोलते जाते हैं कि I have to rebut them. और उसमें मेरे फिर भी मैं मिस्टर कृष्णा और शोएब जमाई, माय गुड फ्रेंड, उनका जरा लाइव रिबट करना चाहूंगा. ये मिस्टर कृष्णा जो कह रहे हैं विद ड्यू रिस्पेक्ट कि ये पहले नहीं होता था. अगर आप एनसीआरबी का डेटा देखें तो अभी 50,000 communal incidents होते हैं per year. From the 70s to the 80s to the 90s, there used to be 1 lakh communal incidences per year. And as far as my dear friend Shoaid Jamai is concerned, जो ये टोपी दिखा रहे हैं बीजेपी की है, by that logic, नाविका ये देखिए, ये मैंने पहना हुआ है, तो इससे क्या मैं शेख हो गया? ये पहन के मैं शेख हो गया या मैं आनंद रंगनाथन हूँ? बहरहाल मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि नाविका, do we have to be politically correct, or do we have to say, I'm going to...
What the truth is, if people mind, let them mind. तो इसमें मैं आपकी वीडियोस में दो चीजें, और यही हमारे देश की ट्रेजेडी है. आप इसको इग्नोरेंस कहिए या कुछ भी कहिए. जो हिंदू बोल रहा है इस वीडियो में, चाचा ये क्या कर रहे हो? वो हिंदू को ये नहीं पता है कि चाचा thinks that polytheists are the worst of creatures. 98.6 कि चाचा says that if you disbelieve in our verses, we will roast you in hell. 456. और वो मुस्लिम बच्ची कह रही है, मामा रमजान के महीने में आप पत्थरबाजी कर रहे हो, ये क्या कर रहे हो? उस बेचारी मुस्लिम बच्ची को ये नहीं पता कि in the month of Ramzan, all the greatest Islamic conquests have taken place, from Al-Badr to Makkah to Zalaka to Hatim, from 2006 to 2015. Every Ramzan day there were 15 terror attacks. तो हम इग्नोरेंस में ये जानते नहीं है कि हमारे देश में हो क्या रहा है. लेकिन फाइनली मैं एक बात अपने गुड फ्रेंड गौरव भाटिया के बारे में कहना चाहूंगा और उनसे पूछना चाहूंगा. नाविका, जैसे मैंने शुरू किया, हर जगह ये अटैक्स हो रहे हैं, हर जगह. लेकिन एक देश है, एक स्टेट है रादर, अभी तो स्टेट ये देश नहीं होना चाहिए, दो है रादर, जहां पे कंबाइंड मुस्लिम पॉपुलेशन 55 मिलियन है, यूपी और असम. वहां पे कंबाइंड 957 शोभा यात्रा निकाली गई पिछले हफ्ते. 957. एक पत्थर नहीं फेंका गया. गौरव भाटिया, प्लीज रिस्पॉन्ड. द नेशन इज आस्किंग, बीजेपी वोटर्स आर आस्किंग कि यूपी और असम में ऐसा क्या खास है जो गुजरात में नहीं है, जो बीजेपी रूल कर्नाटका में नहीं है. यूपी और असम में एक भी पत्थर क्यों नहीं फेंका गया जहां पे 60 मिलियन मुस्लिम्स रहते हैं? Answer.
Respond, Gaurav Bhatia.
Anand bhai, it's a very good question. Let me first say one thing, that this facade that is created, that communal riots after Narendra Modi ji became the Prime Minister have gone up. First of all, with facts. State controls law and order. And you rightly said, यूपी में तो बहुत शांति है, ये हमारे लिए गर्व की बात है. But Anand ji, in Delhi we know there is an anarchist party. And Arvind Kejriwal is the anarchist. And do you know why it becomes very difficult at times for the Delhi police to also take all the right preventive measures and then later detention measures? Because Tahir Hussain, when he was arrested, Amanatullah Khan of the Aam Aadmi Party said he has been arrested because he's a Muslim. And second, his tweet was that, he is innocent. So the problem that we face is that there are termites within the country, Anandji, and they are holding constitutional positions. But I agree with you. The Delhi police has acted very bravely. They have arrested 23 people, and we don't work on the basis of discriminating on the basis of religion and caste. Ansar kahin bhi ho, Ansar arrest hua, and others will be arrested also. And let me tell you,
But Mr. Gaurav Bhatia, Mr. Gaurav Bhatia, are you saying आप घबराते हैं? लोग अगर आकर कहते हैं कि हम मुस्लिम हैं इसलिए अरेस्ट करें तो आप घबरा जाते हैं. और अगर आपको इतनी दिक्कत हो रही है दिल्ली गवर्न करने में तो दे दीजिए ना लॉ एंड ऑर्डर. Why don't you give it to the Aam Aadmi Party? Why don't you make Delhi a full state? Why don't you just give it to them? खुद भुगते. आप तो कई सालों तक आने नहीं वाले दिल्ली में, तो दे दीजिए उनको. तो दे दीजिए उनको. Let them manage their law and order as well.
10 seconds rebuttal.
नाविका जी,
10 seconds का rebuttal. गौरव जी 10 seconds.
मुझे मौका प्लीज. नाविका जी, पहली बात
मैं आपको रिबट करना चाहता हूं.
आनंद भाई एक मिनट.
Can I come in? नाविका जी, can I come in?
बैसाखी के लिए.
नाविका, I didn't know. You are not a soothsayer, नाविका. You are a journalist. हम आएंगे दिल्ली में भी. एंड मैं आपको एक बात बता दूं, घबराते हम नहीं हैं. घबराते आजकल आतंकवादी हैं. द टेररिस्ट आर स्केर्ड, द स्टोन पेल्टर्स आर स्केर्ड, राइटर्स आर स्केर्ड. ऑल दैट आई एम सेइंग इज दैट दीज पीपल, they try to help the criminals, they try to shield them because they believe that these people are their vote bank. That is the point I'm making. And a certain sense of responsibility is also expected from other political parties, even
exactly. If Shoaid Jamai, isn't it true that Ansar was arrested and the first thing that Asaduddin Owaisi Sahab came and said, "ये तो अच्छा आदमी है, very nice." He said everybody says the same thing about Yaqub Memon, Afzal Guru, Burhan Wani. All these people are good people. So who are the bad people? The bad people are those who are taking a chariot of Hanuman ji. वो bad people है. Is that right?
देखिए नाविका जी, अभी डॉक्टर आनंद ने कहा कि शोएब जमाई झूठ बोल रहे हैं. हालांकि मैं डॉक्टर आनंद की इसलिए इज्जत करता हूँ कि मॉलिकुलर बायोलॉजी में वो है, मैं भी कैंसर बायोलॉजी में हूँ. हमारे स्टूडेंट इनकी कॉलीग शैलिजा सिंह के साथ काम करते हैं. हालांकि इनके दोनों माता पिता लेफ्ट है और कानपुर IIT कानपुर में प्रोफेसर भी लेफ्ट आइडियोलॉजी में पले बड़े हैं. आनंद जी, मैं जानना चाहता हूँ सर. देखिए ऐसा है कि जो तस्वीर मैंने दिखाई है उसमें बीजेपी के नेता संगीता बजाज भी थी, बीजेपी के और भी कार्यकर्ता थे और अंसार भी था. वो तस्वीर अकेली नहीं थी. तो अंसार बीजेपी के टोपी पहन के
क्या तुम्हारी तस्वीर अगर ओसामा बिन लादेन के साथ मिल जाएगी, ये बताओ. इस तस्वीर पे बोलो स्टैंडर्ड डबल क्यों है, दो मुंह ये सांप हो क्या, ये बताओ. इस पे बोलो, ये तस्वीर है, इस पे बोलोगे कि नहीं बोलोगे बताओ. कल तक तो नहीं बोल रहे थे. इस तस्वीर पे बोलो ना, तब तो बोलो. अब भाजपा पे अरे तालिबानी तुम तो लिखते हो, तालिबान पे बोलते हो, तालिबान को मुबारकबाद देते हो, यहाँ पे आके प्रवचन दे रहे हो. अभी कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है, आईसिस से लिंक निकला. ये देखो तुम्हारा ट्वीट है, आगे सोफिया पे बधाई दे रहे हो. पासपोर्ट ऑफ our country, why were you celebrating Hagia Sophia Mosque, which is not in India?
This is मुद्दा आज का ये नहीं है. This is not the topic of the debate. The topic of the debate is that it was being alleged. And let me get in advocate Abhishek Sudhir. Advocate Abhishek Sudhir. My question to you is simple. 1 minute, Shoaid Jamai. 1 minute. 1 minute. Advocate Abhishek Sudhir. The question was a narrative that was being set. A narrative was being set that there was provocation and therefore attack happened. I've shown you several videos. I'll show you another video where the procession is very peacefully passing in front of the masjid and they are being pelted stones from behind. वो कुछ नहीं कर रहे. सुन लीजिए. I'll play that for you. Full screen. Hear it. They're there and they're being pelted with stones. Pelted with stones when they are quietly, and they've almost crossed the masjid. They're being pelted with stones from behind. कुछ नहीं कहा, कुछ नहीं किया. You saw that, Advocate Sudhir? So anybody who was saying there were provocations, well, at least on these videos, we can't see them. No saffron flag on top of the mosque. No such thing. In fact, what you see is the previous night, stones and sticks and rods were being collected. Now, I want to ask you, was this pre-planned? Was this pre-planned? And I also want to ask you that is it just a coincidence that the hijab issue picked up by Campus Front of India, PFI's student wing, is it a coincidence that PFI in Maharashtra picks up the Azan versus loudspeaker issue? Is it just a coincidence that the SDPI, the political wing of the PFI, says हम हाथ बांध कर नहीं खड़े रहेंगे, ban करो RSS को, VHP को, and they say that just hours before 16th of April violence in Jahangirpuri? I'm asking, was there a pre-planned, premeditated attack that happened? How does it happen in 12 places in the country on the same day on Ram Navami? The question is, who is behind this conspiracy?
Well, I've listened to all the panelists pretty patiently. I do want to applaud Dr. Ranganathan before I answer your question for his excellent cross-examination of the former Samajwadi Party spokesperson. That was a very, very, very excellent grilling that Dr. Ranganathan gave.
Let's not get personal.
And he did not answer your questions.
He represents the BJP. Everybody has a past. Everybody has a past. I can begin to open yours as well. Yeah. Just let's stick to the point and the debate.
Okay, please go ahead. Open my past. Please open my past. I'm very curious to know what skeletons I have in my closet.
That's not the topic of the debate, Advocate Sudhir. Let's stick to the matter at hand. You want to respond to that question?
No, look, today, Dr. Ranganathan is absolutely right. Why is it not happening in UP and Assam? Let me tell you. Because today in Delhi, the BJP, right, the Delhi police comes under the Home Minister, comes under Amit Shah. Today, the BJP in Delhi answers to the VHP and the Bajrang Dal. The Delhi police registered an FIR naming the VHP and the Bajrang Dal. The VHP and the Bajrang Dal then threatened Rakesh Asthana directly and said, we will launch an all-out attack on the Delhi police if you do not amend your FIR. And lo and behold, 2 hours later, VHP and Bajrang Dal are removed in the FIR. They were charged with holding a procession without permission. The section is 188 of the IPC, right? Willful disobedience of an order duly promulgated by a public servant. Mr. Asthana originally had denied permission for the procession, but the procession went on because Modi and Shah are beholden to the VHP and the Bajrang Dal. Now let the VHP and the Bajrang Dal try to dictate to Yogi Adityanath.
Are you saying the stone pelting happened because there was no permission for the procession? Dr. Anand Ranganathan, is it their case that stone pelting and bottles were being thrown on this procession because इनके पास कागज नहीं था और इनको stone pelting से पहले आकर इन्होंने कागज मांगा था, उन्होंने दिखाया नहीं, इसलिए stone pelting की? Respond to this argument.
Can I come in?
Yes, very briefly.
What happened in UP?
Why did
it not happen in UP?
Abhishek, I'm going to continue on that thread. If you just give me 30 seconds, yes. No, Navika, 3 चीजें. Number 1, to my good friend Shoaid Bhai. Shoaid Bhai, आपने जो फोटो दिखाई है, गौरव जी ने वो फोटो दिखाई है, इसमें आपका वो है. So unless you can confirm whether he's a कार्यकर्ता of BJP or a कार्यकर्ता of आप, my logic stands. कल को मैंने अरविंद केजरीवाल ने वो स्कल कैप पहनी है, वो मुस्लिम थोड़ा ना हो गए. So that is irrelevant to the discussion that Navika is having. Number 1, Shoaib bhai, please, I didn't interrupt. मेरा time बहुत कीमती.
Fader down. Allow him to complete. Allow him to complete his point.
Yes. And very briefly, I really respect Gaurav Bhai. He's like my younger brother. It's another matter, he looks like my elder brother. But I'm afraid his arguments are all really thin ice. Because what he's saying is, when I asked him... when I asked him, when he knows that the law and order in Delhi is under the BJP or Amit Shah, he took the name of Kejriwal saying he's anarchist. Shall I give him the data of 2012 to 2017? Every Ram Navami Yatra in UP was disrupted by stone pelting. Who was the government? Who were the people? I can say they were also anarchists. It was Samajwadi Party government. Azam Khan भी वहाँ था. अब वो शांत क्यों हैं? अब एनार्किस्ट दिल्ली में शांत नहीं है, लेकिन एनार्किस्ट यूपी में शांत क्यों है? ये गौरव जी ने आंसर नहीं किया.
Respond.
Yes, sir.
He was the spokesperson between 2012 and 2017. He was the spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party from 2012 to 2017. So he's ideally placed.
Abhishek,
can he be quiet? Because nobody is even interested in listening to him.
Yeah, I know. Advocate
This
Abhishek,
is not done.
I think if you want to settle a personal score, please feel free to call up Mr. Bhatia, settle it, and come back to the debate to debate the issue at hand. Please. Yes, Gaurav Bhatia.
और दूसरा, अभिषेक जी, आप भी थोड़ा ध्यान से रहें. कल को आपके पास ईडी की रेट पड़ जाएगी, आप बीजेपी ज्वाइन कर लेंगे.
सुनिए, somebody makes a personal comment, but I think the viewers are not interested in knowing how I respond to that. I want to respond to what Dr. Anand Ranganathan is saying.
Please.
Uttar Pradesh, we all know how the bulldozer Baba, as he was coined, said by Akhilesh Yadav, became symbolic of rule of law. And Madhya Pradesh also, Anandji, we are seeing the same, where the Congress is saying that ye bulldozer chal kaise raha hai. I very rightly agree with you that it is high time that be it Rohingyas, stone pelters, radical elements, especially in one religion we all are aware of, we need to crack on them. We need to hurt them, and we need to show them that there is only one way to live in this country. And Delhi also, let me say it. You please ask him to be quiet, Navika.
In Assam, there are no bulldozers.
This disturbs me.
In Assam, there were no bulldozers.
Anandji, I want to complete my point.
Talk about Assam also. I just want to, sorry to interrupt you. But in Assam, there were no bulldozers.
The point here is, no, 1 minute. The point here is,
can I complete my point, please?
Yes, Gaurav Bhatia, 30 seconds.
It is disturbing, Navika. It is very disturbing. Believe me. And I would only request Anandji to wait.
Yes, these clashes are also very disturbing.
We all know Article 370. Article 370, when it was abrogated, Anandji, these people said Kashmir will burn. I think it was the determination of the Home Minister Amit Shah ji. We saw how it was implemented. The same will be done in Delhi also. But that does not take away the responsibility of the constitutional post holders, is my point. These people are carrying fuel and they add it to the fire wherever they see it. The point is, Delhi police has done a phenomenal job, and we will ensure such an incident doesn't happen
when it comes to law and order in Delhi, it is really the responsibility of the BJP, and therefore any amount of shifting the blame is not going to cut eyes. But the question here is also that if we are talking about provocation, if we are talking,
Sonia Gandhi saying आर पार की लड़ाई है,
पुरानी बातें हैं गौरव भाटिया जी, और सोनिया गांधी कहीं है नहीं, उनकी पार्टी कहीं है नहीं, करौली में आपने देखा क्या हुआ. But one minute, I want to ask Kuntal Krishna, I want to ask you, provocation आपको वो लगता है जब कोई कहता है कि भाई मस्जिद के सामने से जा रहे हैं, then don't have saffron flags in your hand. That is called a provocation. Why should it not be a provocation when a Congress spokesperson comes out and says, why should Hanumanji's procession be taken out? Why don't we sit and worship him at home? Can you please tell me, why do people on Jummah day sit on the streets and begin? Have you ever asked that question? Why do they do their namaz on the streets? You can't drive. You go to Okhla in Delhi, you can't drive on the streets at the time of the namaz. I'm not saying that I'm against the religion. I'm just saying that those people who begin to say, practice your religion at home, why don't they object to other religions as well? Why don't they object to the Muharram processions as well? Isn't that a valid question to ask, Mr. Krishna?
Navika, see, once we talk about these things, why are we not talking about people like Baba Bajrangi? Why are we not talking about people like that Mr. Advaita?
You will not answer the question that is asked. You know, what about it takes a completely different level when it comes to the Congress.
Navika, I will answer
so
your
first
question.
answer, because
I will answer your question, Navika.
Bajrang Muni was arrested.
I will answer your question.
We called him out, he was arrested. Yogi Baba is not leaving him. He has arrested him from Sitapur. अब आप वो छोड़ दीजिए ना, योगी जी कर लेंगे. आप तो बताइए मतलूब अहमद कहाँ है? वो राजस्थान की बात है ना, वो बताइए मतलूब अहमद कहाँ है? 23 दिन हो गए.
Navika, police is searching for him and he is not going to be spared. But at the same time, we are also searching for that Rajaram Gujar. Yes, Navika, and let me answer your question.
Please find Mr. Gujar also and please put him behind bars. Please put him behind bars. Even today in Delhi, out of the arrested people, 24 people have been arrested. 7 of them happen to be from the Hindu community. Has anybody come out and said, नहीं ये बेचारा तो बड़ा अच्छा आदमी था, ये तो सुलह करवा रहा था दोनों की तरफ से? लेकिन दूसरी साइड से सारे हिमायती शुरू हो जाते हैं, नहीं Ansar is a good man. Ansar is where do you get these certificates from? Where do you get these certificates from, sir?
No writer, Navika, no writer, no radical can be a chadmi. Listen to me, no radical can be a chadmi. And this is the responsibility of the establishment.
Well, but that is what is happening, and Anand Ranganathan, they will not call this out. They will call for the ban of religious processions of Hanumanji, but they will not call for the ban of Muharram. They will call for the provocation that has happened because somebody said Jai Shri Ram, but they will not talk about the stone pelting पीछे से जो हो रही है on the procession that's going. And I want to ask you, why that provocation, why the provocation of SDPI should not be looked at seriously? Why is it only one kind of narrative that is said? Why is it only that Ansar is called innocent even before the investigation is over, but nobody from the Hindu side says the 7 people arrested, 2 of them minors, should be left off, बिचारे बच्चे हैं?
No, Navika, I have to be very honest. As I said, that, I think we are living in a world that tries to be politically correct all the time without realizing that as hardly a century ago, our great leaders like Ambedkar and Tagore, they made political and other commentaries on all the world's great religions, and they criticized them left, right, and center. But today, if they were to do that same, they'll be the first one either behind bars or beheaded. This is the situation we're living in. There is a huge price to pay for telling the truth. And this goes for all political parties. I challenge Gaurav ji, who's sitting there, to say that terrorism has religion. No, he will say terrorism is no religion. The fact of the matter is that you have the highest echelon, upper echelons of BJP who've never even commented upon the Palghar Sadhu's lynching. So everyone is trying to be politically correct. We have to accept it. We have to accept that Congress will not talk about Congress will not talk about namaz on the roads, but they will say there should be no Hanuman Yatras or Ram Navami Yatras on the roads. We have to accept it.
Well,
we have been
Shoaid
defeated.
Jamai,
We are subjugated.
Shoaid Jamai, the question simply this is, show me the provocation.
Let me respond. He took my
I'll
name,
come back
Navika.
to you, Gaurav Bhatia, but where is the provocation in these videos? The videos are under investigation. The videos tell you the events of 16th of April. Prove to me there was provocation, because what I see is the complete opposite, which is stones being pelted without provocation. A Muslim girl saying, Ammi, bade mamu, patthar kyun phek rahe hain roze mein? Explain to me why you will not condemn this.
नाविका, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल लेट मी रेक्टिफाई यू कि आपने वो कहा जब कि भाई ओखला में जो है वहां पे कोई पोजीशन नहीं गुजरता। अभी 3 दिन पहले ही ओखला हमारे इलाके से शोभा यात्रा गुजरी है और हमेशा गुजरती है। मैं तो जब भी वापस यूनिवर्सिटी से घर जाता हूं तो देखता हूं कि शोभा यात्रा कोई ना कोई यहाँ से यात्रा गुजरती है, क्योंकि गंगा यमुना नजदीक है यमुना, तो वहां पे लोग जाते हैं। और वहां हमारे यहाँ रोड पे नमाज नहीं होती है। जुमे के दिन कोई रोक मनाही नहीं है, ट्रैफिक आसानी से चलती है, बहुत चौड़े रोड है, आनंद जी जानते हैं। दूसरी बात, डॉक्टर साहब ने जो कहा था, सर मैं आपके डिपार्टमेंट आने के लिए बहुत तैयार रहूंगा, वो एविडेंस भी लेके आऊंगा। आई वुड लव टू कम टू योर डिपार्टमेंट एंड शो यू द एविडेंस। अंसार वाज फॉर्मर मेंबर ऑफ आम आदमी पार्टी, but later on he joined the BJP in presence of Adesh Gupta and Sangeeta Bajaj. That is the proof I have. I will come to your department and show it to you, and I would love
there
to.
Are pictures, there are pictures of Sangeeta Bajaj herself.
I challenge you right now.
With the people of the Aam Aadmi Party. There are pictures that are there. Now whether these are morphed, not morphed, true pictures, I don't know. Can we do a forensic analysis sitting here?
Let me answer your question. Navika, yes, there is a writings from both sides. Both sides is responsible. But if the VHP and Bajrang Dal is held responsible to initiate this Shobha Yatra without the permission, they threat the Delhi police. Did you ever say
Gaurav Bhatia ji respond. Gaurav Bhatia ji respond. Okay. All right. Have you withdrawn because Delhi police was threatened by VHP? Okay, you asked your question. Gaurav Bhatia is responding. Listen to him.
You know, Navika, law is the same for everyone. And कोई डरा नहीं सकता सरकार को. But on permission, I challenge Shoaid Jamai to show the permission through which they protested and blocked the roads on Shaheen Bagh for a year almost. Supreme Court reprimanded them. Was there a permission there? Second, ये हर जुम्मे पे जो नमाज होती है पूरे भारत में, all vehicles are diverted. कौन सी permission है भैया, ये जरूर दिखाना. But I must say one thing. That when Anand ji says UP and Assam में एक भी ऐसा अटैक नहीं हुआ, I think it is a matter of pride. And Anand ji, it is a matter of pride for me because I represent the BJP and both these states are BJP governments. If there are some good things in the government, we'll imbibe that also. And last but not the least, Navika, what is troublesome? Eid, Bakrid, Ramzan pe, the Hindu community is not disturbing the peace. They are not pelting stones. It is time for introspection for the other community also. Why is it that the Hindu Navvarsh, Hanuman Jayanti, Ram Navami processions are attacked And it only shows how weak they are from within, that they have to attack. And if there are radical elements in the religion, it is the responsibility of people professing the religion to check them and to condemn them, which people like Shoaid Jamai do not have the courage to do.
Well, I just want to say this tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Videos and pictures speak 1,000 words. And we showed you videos. चाचा ये गलत हो रहा है. बड़े मामू पत्थर फेंक रहे हैं अम्मी. रोजे में पत्थर फेंक रहे हैं. These videos tell you a story that is different from the story of provocation that we heard so far. Is it the full truth? Certainly not. But these are videos under investigation. For those who have already reached conclusions that it was one side at fault because they took out a procession on Hanuman Jayanti and they had saffron flags in their hand, then clearly they need to sit back and watch these videos where this side was attacked. But the bigger question tonight that we should ask is, it's not just somebody's religious symbolism that is being attacked. Even the Tiranga hasn't been spared. The stone pelting, the bottles that are being thrown are also being pelted on the Tiranga. Is this the new India we're building? What about the connection between the hijab, the azan debate, and these so-called orchestrated events that have happened in the last 3 weeks in different parts of the country? Is there somebody who's working to a script? Is there a conspiracy at hand? It's a question that begs some amount of introspection and thought. And to those who come out every now and then and want to give clean chits even before investigations, the question is, will you watch this truth now? Will you now change your mind about the statements you made yesterday? Ladies and gentlemen, India is at a precarious position. There is a pandemic that we're fighting. There is a world situation that we're looking at. There are challenges for India. Are we going to continue to challenge ourselves from the inside, or are we going to be prepared as a nation to face the challenges from outside? That is the real issue.